Hey, everybody. Welcome. As per usual, our Wednesday live stream is, as one can say, officially live. Uh, I I know you guys probably already see it, but I'm gonna state the obvious. Yes, there is a sponsor for the channel, and it's NordVPN. How do I do this again? There you go. It's NordVPN, and thank you NordVPN for sponsoring the channel. And for people who don't know what NordVPN is essentially a proxy service, right? You could say at this point everybody knows what a VPN does, and NordVPN is one of the better ones out there. I'm gonna be honest. I've been reached out by several different VPN companies over the months, and I've had to turn down quite a few. I remember there was one where where their mascot was I don't remember. It was this weird cartoon character eating a carrot or something like that, and yeah, for you guys know the stuff. VPNs allow you to bypass certain restrictions in certain areas, allows you to watch shows and blah blah blah. You guys know it. All right, I'm not here to pitch you guys on VPN services, but if you guys know, streams will be just like normal, except there's gonna be a little tag up here now, just letting you guys know that if you guys do want to help me out, using NordVPN would help me out. And I do know for people who have tried the link, it's not working right now, and I have reached out to them regarding this. So, but you know, just warming you guys up to the idea that this channel is sponsored now, but it won't change how I deliver content. It won't mean any sort of weird biasness. They don't really pay me to shove it down your throats. All right, so stay relaxed, and it's going to be more of a live stream thing than it is like an entire channel rebranding. Okay, so I see people saying in chat they've been getting insane luck on the Raiden banner, and they're asking, is it the same for everyone else? And I can tell you, it's been pretty unanimous when it comes to Raiden banner success, to be honest with you. All right, I myself have found good success. The account I summon on has found good success, and the people who have summoned on their accounts have messaged me with screenshots of good success. Now, I don't know if they would be lying or what their incentive for lying would be, but from what I have seen, it's been good, man. And I'm so happy to hear that, because Raiden's one of those characters that at C0 she's good, but at C2 she is freaking amazing, because C2 opens her to be slapped into the support DPS role and function just as well as she would C0 hyper carry in the support DPS role, which, man, it opens my eyes to some of the more wacky shit Genshin has to offer. Seriously. Because C0 Raiden hyper carry or Raiden national, you can deal so much damage because all these amazing supports are facilitating your DPS environment. Whereas C2 Raiden support DPS does the same damage as a C0 hyper carry Raiden, but literally she just sits in the background and she comes out whenever the hell she wants, and she just, you know, and things just die. And the utility features all there. She still supercharges your team with energy particles. Feels so amazing. But loving her even more. All right, so I'm happy, man. I'm happy people are getting their Raidens. Whether you're a newer player, whether you are chasing after some constellations, good stuff. All right, good stuff. Choco Choco Paiwa says she is even better at C3. Of course she is. It's just C2, she hits that breakpoint with C1, allowing her to reach max dissolve much easier. And then C2 unlocks her DPS threshold even higher, right? Without the need of all the setup, all the buffing, and all that stuff. Really good. People want, so I've seen people are saying like want to talk about Ayato, talking about, and also talking about Venti. Yeah, well, I also made videos for them. I think there's still a lot left on the table for us to discuss, and all the really spicy stuff I don't put into the videos anymore because I know people won't understand. The vast majority of the viewers won't understand, and they think it's some sort of hot take to say Venti is I mean, in the Venti video I made it very clear that he's good when the opportunity arises for him to succeed, right? When he's set up to succeed, he will 100% blow it out of the water. I guess not blow, but suck it out of the water. But you know, Hoyoverse just doesn't seem like they really want Venti to succeed, and who can really blame them, right? There's no way to design content to let Venti shine while at the same time have the content be engaging and challenging. How can you do it? Right, I guess one way you can do it is to design, like I said in the video, elemental type enemies. So when Venti sucks them all together, Viridescents can't shred their resistance because they're literally immune to the element, like electro slimes, hydro slimes, you know, these kind of stuff. So that essentially you make Viridescents not that useful. But the whole point, the whole problem with Venti is when you group everything together like that, any form of damage becomes so efficient. It becomes so damn good. You're not wasting time running around the room. You're not wasting time getting your burst back to hit other enemies that you missed previously. You're not wasting time resetting the room to get that perfect angle for the burst skill or whatever. It's just, it's too efficient, right? It's too efficient. And how are you going to design content around Venti whilst having it be difficult, challenging, and not one-shottable? Imagine mixing someone like Raiden Shogun and Venti in one team. Yeah, like just imagine that. It's not just Venti anymore. Back then, the problem was Venti, Morgana, you know, the whole grouping of mobs together, and there's too easy of an access to efficient damage environments. But now you add into it all these other crazy characters that Hoyoverse has released since Venti's like debut back in 1.0. The job just gets harder and harder and harder and harder. Baron Allen says, Walrus, do you think they will keep power creeping Venti? They've already creeped them too much. I think Mihoyo has done a huge oopsie. Look at, okay, chat, look at it like this. Hoyoverse really screwed up with Venti because they dealt too many blows to this character. A good example of how they've learned from this is look at Zhongli. Look at what they're doing to Zhongli, and I can guarantee you this, alright? You can't miss this because eventually they'll do similar things to Raiden, but understand that Raiden's entire selling point is her cheap access to power, right? C0 being very efficient, C1 being okay, but it's really bridging that C0 to C2 where you hit that huge power spike. So it makes it worth it for people to continue summoning for Raiden months down the line. There are people who have Raiden probably at C1 with her first rerun, and they're okay waiting until the next rerun to get C2. But look at a character like Venti, right? This is why I say they really screwed up with Venti. They hit him too hard, too fast. So to answer your question, I don't think they're gonna power creep Venti anymore because they've already done it. It's over. Venti will forever, I think, sit around this current stage in the game, unless Dendro does something weird, which I don't think a single reaction could ever bring back a character who has gone out of style due to enemy design choices made by HoYoverse. Yeah, Raiden Shogun in the future will not meet the same fate as Venti, simply because of her C1 and C2, C3 as well, giving her that headroom for her to continue growing. Venti, C1, C2, yeah, good joke. That's a good joke of a couple constellations there. Like, think about it like this, people. We have to think about it from a HoYo's perspective, right? Whenever we talk about this stuff, power creeping, character designs, we always have to think about it from a HoYo standpoint. Do you think from a HoYo's perspective, they want to make a character that can make them money years down the line, even right when running reruns for people to get constellations? Or do they want a character that's like a one-hit wonder, maybe make them some money and then just fizzle out and become irrelevant? I would hope it's the first one, because that's how all smart businesses should be planning their content for, right? For the long run. And we gotta think of these characters as content assets for HoYoverse. So why I keep saying they screwed up with Venti is because Venti has no longevity. They even released a character who's almost a superior version of Venti in the current game state, which makes Venti even harder to shine. So on top of not designing content for Venti to shine, they're also designing a character who combats the current problems that HoYoverse has designed. Which also, it's just like in the same elemental typing as Venti and does very similar things to Venti, and can use the 4-piece Viridescent set, which really makes you question, how important is Venti going to be going forward in the storyline? Not the storyline, going forward in the game, combat-wise. Not that important. But I think HoYoverse can afford to make a mistake like Venti in pursuit of learning and growing and designing better characters, more efficient characters, better vertical scaling, right? More efficiency zeros, and less game-breaking mechanics like sucking mobs together in a tight, close, dense area for people to nuke. That was just bad design from the get-go, because how are you ever going to balance your game around that? You either let people nuke everything together, or you don't let them nuke everything together. It was weird, man. It was weird. I mean, I talked about this when Kazuha, after Kazuha came out, and after I realized how insane Kazuha was at dealing with the problems that we were having in Spiral Abyss. And that's essentially when I stopped playing Venti. And I haven't really brought Venti back into the Spiral Abyss ever since. And I don't blame... I mean, you can't really blame Venti for being bad. It's just HoYoverse doesn't want the game to go into that direction. So they've abandoned that ship, is what I'm trying to say. Adam Jacobs says, the only thing I want buffed is his C1. We need Shogun 3x Swirl Venti to be viable, so people will want constellations. I will never regret pulling on Venti. Yeah, I think a good starting point, if HoYoverse wants to bring Venti somehow back, I think his usage rate is like hovering around what? Off the top of my head. Last time I checked, it was like 40-something%, which isn't bad, right? Chat, like 40% usage rate wasn't bad. It's just compared to his 90% back in the day, it's dropped like around half, right? So, which isn't terrible. But if HoYoverse wants to bring Venti back, I think starting with Constellation 1 would be a great fix. Like, Constellation 1 could be like this, all right? Instead of the dumb 3-arrow shot, it could be like, when using Venti's burst against enemies that are unaffected by his suckage, all party, I don't know, like something to do with EM, or give some sort of buff to Venti, or to the best would be to Venti's teammates, right? Like convert 20% of Venti's EM and give it to your team or something like that. Like, because I think Kazuha's Constellation 2 does something like that or something, right? Just get rid of that dumb constellation that lets you shoot 3 arrows and let something be done about Venti in situations where he cannot CC enemies. Make him viable in situations where he cannot CC enemies. Yeah. Kazuha has a constellation that does that. I don't know which one it was. It's C2 or C4. So yeah, like that would immediately give. And note, it only activates when Venti is using his bursts against enemies that cannot be sucked. So it's a very specific situation to activate it, but it would immediately give usage to Venti for literally 90% of the combat content that we have. I think that would be a good start. Immediately would make Venti really good. Buffing EM to the rest of your team is incredibly valuable in the state of Genshin nowadays. And I think go into the future, EM will continue to develop into something that is more versatile, as opposed to just like raw, dumb damage. Malik Smith is, how would you even code something like that though? Yeah, see, that's the problem. Because we're tacking on solutions after we ran into the problems, right? So of course the solution we have exists outside of the current available options. That's like easy fixes. I guess a lazy fix could be additional particle generation, but that's kind of running into Raiden's niche. I think for Venti, C1 has to be some sort of additional support capability for the team. Damage just won't do it. Why? Like, because nobody's reliant on Venti himself to deal damage, right? So we gotta think, how can Venti benefit the team? Yeah, I can't think of anything in the moment that's like decent without having to program new things into the game. Maybe I'm just not that creative. I was thinking maybe like, I don't know. Like I was thinking C1 allows him to infuse 2 elements. I don't know. It's weird. I don't think at this point Hoyoverse can do anything that's easy and cheap for them to fix Venti enough for him to contend with Kazuha. Because I think this was the original thought, right? This is what they originally thought. All right, we're gonna make Kazuha more dedicated towards like immovable, unccable enemies, elite mobs, and stuff like that, and we're gonna reserve Venti for the smaller mobs, right? CC the smaller mobs, and then they realize, wait a minute, but Kazuha's combat is so dynamic, even versus these big unccable mobs, we can still design content around these type of enemies for them to be difficult and tough to compete. And then there's Venti, and it's like, wait a freaking minute, how are we ever going to design content that's difficult for Venti that also favors Venti?
Just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Tried to join you the other day, you declined. I see how it is, Walrus.
You mean join my world? I'm online. I'm online 24 hours a day. Wait, I think I'm online right now with my Genshin. I'm online 24 hours a day. If there's a way to look at my my game screen, it's always just one click away because I never log out. The only time you'll ever see my account logged out of Genshin is when there's an update. I don't know how many other people are like this, but I do this with all my games. Lost Ark, I have 800 hours. Let me ask you guys, how many hours do you think that's actually legit playing? Lost Ark, look, 802 hours. Oh, by the way, Lost Ark is open as well. Bro, it's not personal. It's not personal. It's just I never log out of my games. So people probably try to join my world a lot, but I'm never there. And let me tell you, out of the entire day, probably 30 minutes out of the entire 24 hours, I'm actually online, and it's only to come and hit this domain, and I'm out. So yeah, lay 7. It's not that not that I don't want people in my world. I'm just not here most of the time. Oh, and when I record for videos, that's when I will be around. So yeah, I don't know how many hours of Genshin I have logged, but I would imagine it's in the thousands. If it counts all the idle time I have. Speaking of, oh. Well, it's time for some copium artifact grind. It's time for some copium artifact grind. We need this. Oh, and remember in my video I said Venti is one of the best characters you can run in any of your team comps outside of the Abyss, and I do mean that. He's so efficient. And watch this, chat. You guys will quickly see the problem why balancing the game around Venti is damn near impossible. Because how are you going to balance around this? It's either you can do this or you can't. Am I wrong? It's either you can do this or you can't. Where does this type of combat leave Hoyoverse any room for balance around this character? If the enemies did not get sucked into that vortex, Raiden would, like, it's not just about the viridescence, it's not just about the shred, the resistance shred, right? It's about how convenient it is for you to pull all the freaking tiny little mobs all into one little circle, allowing any character to come in to use any sort of nuke abilities to just one-shot it. How can you ever design smaller mobs that can be sucked by Venti while also keeping the game difficult, challenging? You cannot. It's not doable. That's where they messed up. Hoyoverse really messed up. I don't know how to fix this. And I think Hoyoverse, in a way, maybe they made the right decision. Maybe moving on from this is the right decision to not... I think more people would have quit the game by now if Hoyoverse didn't transition away from the tiny mob Abyss layouts that they did back in the day. Yeah, Venti is so good. That, Geronimo, you're right. Venti is so good, he has to be bad for the game to work and survive and be engaging, interesting, and ever evolving. That is absolutely true. I wholeheartedly believe that. If this is my Spiral Abyss every time, every iteration, I would have stopped doing it. Like, I would have just never do it. I would never touch it. This is still only enjoyable simply because I'm doing it outside of the Spiral Abyss once every now and then. And that's it. But I would not want this to be endgame Genshin. But then again, there are two teams, right? You have the Venti team and then you have another team. And I think that's what the upcoming new iteration of the Abyss is going to be. Hoyoverse is going to give Venti maybe a chance to shine very briefly, and it's only going to be in one chamber. Because Kazuha also exists, right? So, I mean, Kazuha can do this as well. So what you guys are seeing here, Kazuha can kind of do it as well. So maybe after this, we'll switch to Kazuha and I'll show you guys. Kazuha can do it as well, but it's not as efficient and not as consistent as whatever this is. Like, geez.
Sussy Lay 7 just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Why does everyone tend to forget that Venti is god tier in a lot of events as well? It's not just Spiral ABSS.
Yep. As long as there are suckable enemies, Venti is immediately god tier. Nobody comes even close to this character. No one. He's untouchable. He's in an entire league of his own. That's why Spiral Abyss, it's... What the... Have we gotten a single Viridescence piece? What is this? Where's my... like... What? That's how they get you, right? That's how they get you. Yeah. Lay 7, you're absolutely correct. But to be honest, with the events that's going on. Oh. Oh. When did this event start? when did this one start? Damn. Well, that's awkward because oh. Is that so now? Oh, I have 5 days left to do this? Damn, better get started. Wait. We need to go farm something else. Where? Damn. Not this one. 2 times bonus. What else gives you 2 times bonus today? What are the other domains that Court of Flowing Sand? Does this give you 2 times bonus? No. It's only the... Is it only the this stuff? Oh. Then I'm not missing much. Honestly, then I'm not missing much. How do you see the enemies again? Ah, there you go. Okay. I don't know if this team works. Should work. Let's try it. Who knows? I remember this one has a bunch of like dudes spread out in the room as well. Let's try this. Oh. Wrong. Right, unsuckable, very good. Bam. There you go. Pretty much a similar situation. To be honest, you guys see immediately, Kazuha would have been way better in this room, right? Kazuha would have been much better. Honestly, at this point, it doesn't matter. This is the overworld. Overworld doesn't really matter, right? I count all domains as overworld as well. It's whatever. Oh. No, 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 no. There you go. Line them up. Pew. No. Here's the thing about Venti, right? That's also one of the other things I have with Venti. It's that the AI, whenever you have to trust the AI in this game, you know you're gonna have a bad time. My Yai Miko is your Yai Miko not built? She is built. I wouldn't say she's max and fully built, but I think she's what, level 80? Yeah, look, she is built. Just with Sith. R5, level 80. I took her artifacts and I took her artifacts, but I'm waiting for Yai Miko to get her artifacts to test her again. I guess it's better to come off to the side like this. Oh. Off to the side like this. Oh, I don't even have my burst. Well, great example to just show that you probably... Wait, what? That's so weird. Probably don't need Venti's burst to even do this room. Look, it just makes things so easier, doesn't it? Them healing such annoying mechanic. I think what's really annoying is the floor 12 abyss, chamber 3 second half, those bishops. If you don't kill them both in like a set time, they kind of revive with like with quite a bit of HP, right? Don't really like that. Not a big fan. All right. Not a big fan. The first time I did that, I was like, all right, now it's time for the other one. And then the one I killed came back with like 70% HP. I'm just like, it caught me off guard. All right. I'm gonna say that it caught me off guard. All right, for this one, we're gonna probably take Zhongli. Wait, how much electro resistance does this boss have? How much electro resistance does this thing have? Should I bring Kazuha instead? Maybe I should bring Kazuha instead. This is one of those situations where I honestly think bringing Venti would be like shooting yourself in the foot. But I only have... Everybody shares one set of Viridescence, and this is when I really wish I had the artifact preset, where I can just go, bam, Viridescence, equipped, and all 5 Viridescent pieces are now equipped. Where instead, now I have to go through this, this motion of making sure I give all the proper artifacts over. Nope, not that. That's the one. And you end up with something like this. It's pretty decent. Wouldn't say it's bad, but let's try it. Here's the thing, right, people? I'm fully supportive of having different types of content or combat options, units, whatever you want to call it, be available for certain enemy typings, but it's just Venti needs some love, bro. Wow, did she just do a... Oh, wait, it's this one. Oh, that's not the one-shot one, right? Yeah, that wasn't the one-shot one. Ah. Woo. She does the omae wa mou shindeiru thing. And I am indeed dead. And I'm dead. Alright, give me a break. This is my second time fighting this boss, alright? This is my second time fighting this boss. I don't know if I need Zhongli though. Like, I feel like, I mean, Zhongli would make the fight so much easier, but you're losing out on damage. Every time I bring Zhongli, I'm always losing out on damage. But I was having severe issues with energy there. Because when she teleports away, my Raiden is not able to finish her attack string, and it took me too many skill cycles to get the energy particles back. What if we had Zhongli? Because my Zhongli runs Favonius, Lance.
Sussy Scoop NYG just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Story question about Archon's Raiden has Ye Miko Zhongli has Ganyu and Seo who in the Genshin world Venti had support him. He is 2,700 years old.
Remember about Archon has Yai Miko and Ganyu and Xiao who's in the Genshin world Venti has support him. He is... That's the thing, right? Like, we don't really know who was supporting Venti throughout all those years. Bro, this fight... Is that a Venn diagram? Dude. See, this is why, Hoyoverse, why do you keep designing content in the game that trivializes your game design? Oh. This might be a long-ass fight if that's the kind of damage I'm doing to this boss. But, hey, at least I'm doing damage, unlike what this boss is doing with me. Is that the one-shot? Attack the... Oh. Am I gonna die? Yeah, I was like, wait. Am I dead? Oh, is it doing it again? No. Okay. Just re-shield real quick. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the hell the mechanics are for this boss. I've done this boss once. There we go, let's heal. I think that was too early. Yeah, there's some insane electro resistance going on with this boss. Yeah. Thing is, I just need to be able to hit her. You know, I need to be able to hit her so I can recharge the rest of my team's energy. Does she transform again? She doesn't transform again, does she? Or does she have to fill up that gauge to transform? Is that her burst skill meter? Wait, is that her burst skill? Her burst meter? Wait, chat, you guys see that, right? Is that her burst? I think that's her burst. Once she fills that up, well, I guess bosses have energy regen issues too now, don't they? Where is she? The fuck is this mechanic? Oh no. She's getting energy particles even as we speak. Oh, she's got her burst back. Oh no. So I have to deal with that BS mechanic again. Oh, I think she's doing it. Yep. Hey. Clap me again, bitch. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Is it me or is she losing shield? Oh. Yeah, my Raiden Shogun's thing is doing good damage to her. The Raiden Shogun's come on, bro. Oh. There we go. There we go. Hey, not bad, you know. Not bad at all. What is this? Okay, stock up on a couple of this so later I can use the dream solvent to switch them to other pieces. That's at this point, that's what I stock them up for. And that's essentially my weekly Genshin done. Almost. Almost. Not really though. Hey, look at my BP. Level 18. Oh no, I have 4 days left. Oh no. Oh no. What am I gonna do? Require 4,800? Oh no! What am I gonna do? What? We'll take what we got. Alright, we'll take what we got. 8 Mystic Enhancement Ores. That's worth. That's worth. Good stuff. Collect some ores while we're here. Very good. Very good. This is like the daily Genshin routine, right? Collect some ores, spend your resin, check your battle pass. Oh, okay. Mine 10 items. Good. Good. Oh, we can do commissions. Of course. We can do commissions. Really depends on the day if I do them or not, though. Trong says, starting to get bored of dailies and events. Guess I've got to go out and touch some grass now. Well, be jealous of me because I haven't done this event yet. So I guess I have a ton of content to blow through in the last couple of days for Genshin. That Mohawk talent you got from Raiden is for Yai Miko. Okay. We'll see. Because here's the thing. I don't want to... I think my Yai Miko is like, what? Talent level 5 still? 6. Okay, talent level 6. So, let's take a look.
Sussy Scoop NYG just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. That Mohawk talent you got from Raiden is for Yai Miko.
I'll have to see, because I want to see if when her artifact set comes out in 2 patches from now, she's gonna be any good. I mean, any better than what she currently is. I do think with a couple constellations, Yamiko can start to feel very comfortable But you know, we shouldn't slap words like, oh, she's good, she's amazing, she's insane around very casually, just because I think it can mislead people into thinking like she's, because maybe somebody thinks Raiden is really good, really insane, really amazing, right? And then you come along and say Yaimiko, insane, amazing, good. Like, then what the fuck is the benchmark at this point? What is the benchmark for what's good, what's amazing, what's insane? So I always say like Yamiko's okay. She's alright. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, bada boom, boom. I don't know, but whenever a character comes out, I always see people calling them insane. I always see people calling them insane, especially like the channels who are like showcase channels. They want to like do good damage with them. They always showcase these characters as insane. They never say like, oh, this character is kind of right. They it's of course it's always insane. So it's very difficult for me to trust a lot of these sources sometimes, because I'm just looking at them and just like, is it though? Are they really insane though? Tony 2 can make anyone look insane. All right, let's be honest with that. Nobody should be going to Tony's channel and be like, let's see if this new character is free to play friendly. It's always to go for spectacle. You're going to Tony's channel to see like what is the peak potential of this character. In fact, I actually haven't even seen Tony. Has Tony managed to hit 1 million with Yaimiko yet? Can someone in chat tell me, has Tony released a 1 million Yaimiko hit video yet? I think calling Yaimiko insane, like, is just irresponsible. That's how I feel, all right? That's how I feel, at least. $500, best I can do. There's an entire discussion to be made about whether or not Hoyoverse is scared of power creep, because at this rate, it's either A, they're setting up for Dendro, right? They're setting up new mechanics for Dendro, and they don't want us to think this game is a one-dimensional game. So they're making these characters who needs Dendro to fully come online. And of course, there's fully dedicated artifact set with different play styles and stuff and whatnot. But at the same time, they made the 1.0 characters so good, if that makes any sense, right? The patch 1.0 to patch 2.0 characters, we're talking the Hu Taos, the Ganyus, we're talking the Bennetts, the Xingqius, we're talking the Zhanglings, we're talking the officials, the Yulas, the Kazuhas. Okay, Kazuha is a 1.6 character, right? They made these, like the Ventis, the Zhonglis, they made them so good and so efficient to use that nowadays when we see these characters with like Yaimiko, you're really scratching your head being like, okay, so like what are you designing this character around? What's the play here, right? And it's not oh, sorry, I missed the Zhao, just in case the Zhao people get really upset. But what's the play here, right? What's your point in designing a character that has so many different conditions to being successful? Characters like Ito, while C0 is strong, free to play C0 is good, but it doesn't feel as fun, I guess, to play if you don't deal with some of the inherent issues that comes with characters, such as energy regen not being enough, right? A C0 Ito, even with the red horn, you can do good damage when you get the burst, but the burst uptime is difficult to maintain. So in essence, DPS, damage per second, over a specific damage window is severely limited. And unless you're some sort of god player with insane RNG luck to facilitate some energy recharge, which could allow 2 skill cycles to give you a burst, you're going to probably need C1, C2, right? On top of a C6 Goro as the acting support. And I guess in a way, HoYoverse has found a new money milking formula, and they're just sticking with the new formula because it's working so well for them ever since Raiden Shogun's release, with C1, C2 being low-hanging fruits, as well as a C6 dedicated support in Kujosara. It's no surprise that they want to replicate that success with all future characters. So now you end up getting 5 stars who are decent. Some are decent at C0, some are amazing at C0, but for the most part, they're okay. They're pretty good at C0. They're at worst better than their 4-star C6 counterpart. At worst. At best, like C0 Raiden, right, in a hyper carry position, you really don't need to go higher than that. But of course, the low-hanging fruit is always there to entice you, being like, hey, ever wanted to feel like Tony 2? You ever wanted to feel like I win to lose gaming? Or at least try getting closer to them? Hey, forget about the days where you need to C6 your characters.
NYG just applied wet status.
You can do
Damn,
it.
That's hot. I think
With
the
C2,
is
C3.
going to be better when they change Hoi. Also, when will Genshin let us really max our talents? Level 15.
Yeah. So Scoop, NYG, level 15 talents is... Okay, here's the thing, right? Do you guys see these crowns? Do you guys think... Where is it? Where are my crowns? Oh, here. Do you guys think that these crowns would be used all the way up to talent level 15? Or do you think they're gonna introduce something else, right? Because I have 8 of them. Alright, so... I don't know. Talent level 15 seems so far away. And I feel like talent level 15 is just 2 more talents, right? Because right now people can get to talent level 13 with constellations. So talent level 15 is just 2 talents away. But I really don't see the need for it right now. Like you're right in asking that question, Scoop, because talent level 15, whenever they decide to release that, is when we're probably going to get more endgame content. Why the camera shaking, Sussy Walrus? It was an earthquake. Yeah, so talent level 18, talent level 15, level 100, all that stuff. That stuff will come when we get more difficult content, and we're gonna get it because it's already in the game, right? We have talent 15 in the game. It's programmed in the game. It's just not available to us. So when people are worried, oh, Genshin Endgame, when it's coming. It's coming. I never once said in any of my videos that it's not coming. I say for the near future, forget about it, because it's not coming anytime soon. HoYoverse is going to continue developing the game on all fronts. All the contents in the game, they want to develop it more before building upwards. You need a strong foundation for when you're building upwards. If your foundations are weak, your thing's just going to collapse. Am I wrong? Right? So I honestly, people keep saying like, oh, you're such a white knight. Oh, you're the fucking bootlicker, man. Bootlicker. HoYoverse bootlicker. It's like, Okay, but honestly, I rather them take their sweet time, build a strong foundation, then scale vertically, because that's the only way that the stuff up there is gonna sit very well. It's gonna feel concrete. It's gonna feel integrated. It's not gonna feel like cheap integrations. I will bootlick all I want, because I want a good game at the end of the day. I don't care if it takes them 2, 3, 4 years to figure out the foundation for it. I just want it to be good. I want it to be solid. So when we start building upwards, the content is going to be solid as well.
Sussy Scoop NYG just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Might get level 15 with new characters like Child.
Holy sis. What's that sound? That's bootlicking, right? I mean, what do you guys imagine when you guys think of bootlickers? I mean, that's what bootlickers sound like. Bootlickers. Yeah, nothing great if it's Rust. Exactly. They don't understand that what they're asking for is like a cheap port of some rushed bullshit, like money grab, lazy endgame design just to feel like an instant craving. But Mahoyo or Hoyoverse has said from the very beginning that they want this game to have quality. They want this game to be associated with quality, and you see it in the world, right? Yeah, and people will be saying like, "Oh, is it quality to be recycling old content and old events and stuff? Is it quality?" It's like, well, if you want to say it like that, right? Like, no, of course it's not of the best quality to use old events and just rehash them for the player base, but I'd rather have that than some new permanent feature that's literally garbage, like hot stinking garbage for the player base to try to wrap their heads around. It's much better than that, right? At least you know if you're not having a good time this patch, maybe next patch they're going to introduce something that you're going to have fun with, as opposed to implementing something that they think you would have fun with, and then you end up being like, wow, this sucks. You know, like, oh my god, this absolutely sucks. And then every patch now, they develop events or content around this sucky permanent feature that you don't enjoy. Let them take their time, figure shit out, experiment, whether through events or through beta testing, and really truly come out with something more concrete, something more well designed, I guess. Flowcat says it took Smilegate 2 to 3 years to come up with Legion raids, their winning strategy. So I'm willing to be patient. Exactly. So we're talking about Lost Ark. Lost Ark, during its initial release in Korea, flopped. All right? It flopped harder than a freaking beached whale. It was so bad and people were so miserable that the game almost died.
Sussy the Flowcat just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. It took Smilegate 2 to 3 years to come up with Legion raids, their winning strategy. So, I'm willing to be patient.
I'm willing to play the villain here. I'm not the villain. I'm not the villain. Dude, I'm the bootlicker. I'm the doom licker, man. I'm the oh, Walrus. The guy with the hot takes and the bootlicker. I'll stick with this role, because at the end of the day, as long as Genshin continues to grow and develop, I think, given them enough time, they're gonna come up with a system and content to make use of level 100, to make use of talent level 15. Oh, my talent wasn't even talent level 9 yet. I locked it at talent level 8. So that's honestly what I think when it comes to this issue. I think, and like Scoop was saying earlier, all the things we need to know is already in game, right? Talent level 15, it's there. You guys know it's coming one day. Level 100, probably it's coming one day. Mobs can get to level 100. Why can't we? But we don't need that power right now. There's no content that demands it. But just know the headroom is there, so that must mean Hoyoverse has already something in the works for more difficult and more challenging content. See, and Lay7 as well is chiming in saying, it took my last gacha 3 years for permanent endgame. Exactly. Genshin is 2 years old, and I'm willing to bet Genshin is, like, to design and add stuff into Genshin is much more of, like, look at the game visually, man. Like, come on. People have to understand, this is not your 2D, like,
Lay7 just applied
pixel.
wet status. Damn, that's hot. It took my last gacha 3 years for permanent endgame.
Yeah, this is not your typical gacha, like 2D pixel waifu, you know, like game. Every aspect of this game is so detailed. When you get into combat, your characters don't get pixeled down and become like an 8-bit version of themselves. You are a fully fledged 3D modeled character with animations, voice acting, like everything is so detailed and integrated that it's going to take a while, man. It's going to take some time. And also know that you can't nerf these characters. If they fuck something up, if they come out with content and they realize, oh damn, we done fucked up, they can't go back and retune characters. Can you guys imagine how stressful that is for a development team, saying like, well, you better get this right on the first time because you can't retune any of your mistakes. Yeah, that's going to keep you up at night. All right? That's going to keep you up at night. That's going to keep your head scratching. Imagine being a game developer for MiHoYo and you fuck up so bad, right? And you get assassination attempts on the CEO. Do you think you're going to have a job the next day? Right? I can't even begin to fathom the amount of stress that's going through the heads of these game developers at MiHoYo headquarters. So okay, let me ask you guys this. If you were the head of this department and Dawei comes to you, be like, hey man, I want you to give me a time estimate. Give me a time estimate. How long do you need to perfect this system, to make this system of quality enough to match that of Genshin Impact? How long do you need, right, for endgame? Dude, if I were head of that department,
just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Did the guy who developed Ganyu's multipliers get a promotion or get fired?
Well, that depends on the sales, now doesn't it? If I were the head of that department, I would look Dawei straight in the eyes and say, bro, give me all the time you can afford to give me. All right, give me years, decades if you can afford to wait that long. Dude, I will milk the ever-living crap out of the time frame that's given to me, because this isn't something you just shit out and be like, oh, we'll just first release it and we'll tweak it later. No. You gotta balance, like, at this point, how many characters? How many characters do we have released? You gotta balance every single one of these characters around every bit of new endgame content that is ever going to be released, while fully knowing every constellation and how it affects gameplay, interacting with four characters on a particular team. How? You need a massive team of people running this, right? So, and for all future characters, you have to think like, okay, so we're only thinking about the system for all pre-existing characters. What about the hundreds of characters that are potentially coming down the line for the next 10 years? It suddenly isn't that easy of a solution. And I know a lot of the people, like the haters, are gonna say, they made $1 billion. They're $1 billion company. They have the money, the resources to figure this out. You're right. You're right. If Genshin was their everything, if they devoted every last bit of that $1 billion back into Genshin, they could. But let me guys ask you, how many of you guys knows how the business model work, right? What if they have 5 different investment groups or companies or whatever that each take 10% of their earnings, right? It goes to them. Share whatever you want to call them, shareholders or benefactors or stakeholders, whatever the fuck. Do you guys really think that entire billion goes straight into Dawei's private personal account and goes straight back to HoYoverse saves the world and into Genshin development? No, they have other ventures, projects that they're working on that will require this large sum of money on top of having to pay back, dividends or whatever, percentage shares back to investors. That's their earnings, right? They're bound by law to split this money. It's not going all back into Genshin. To be honest, I'd be surprised to say Genshin sees even 30% of the total earnings. And of course, that's also in part due to a conscious decision from HoYoverse to take some of the Genshin money into future endeavors, like investing into future projects. Right? Genshin took $100 million to get from nothing to patch 1.0. And I think putting in another 300 million out of the 1 billion something, that whatever they made in 1 year, is going to secure the game for at least another 2-3 years. Probably not even needing that. Probably 300 million is probably enough to secure the game for another 4 to 5 years. Because remember, I think a lot of the money when designing these games is building the infrastructure, writing the initial baseline of codes. Once everything's already set, you just have to design new characters and import them into the game, right? A lot of the money goes into the graphic design, into artists, into the storytelling, because you already have an oiled machine that's functioning and running, right? You got the engine already written and done. It's more about art, assets, and stuff like that. Programming is still important, but not as important as when they were working from the ground up. And that 100 million got them from literally nothing to patch 1.0, which I think is pretty good.
Sassy NHiki, Shukai, just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Genshin probably sees as much money as I can see my future deadpan face.
Yeah, and you can tell Genshin probably is seeing a smaller amount of money than we think they are, and for good reason, to be honest. They don't want everything to just hang by Genshin and wait on Genshin. Lay 7 wants to hop and call. Yeah. Jump in. Here.
Sussy Lay 7 just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Check Discord. Sussy the Flowcat just applied wet status.
Yo, what's up? What's
Damn,
up?
That's
Hello,
hot.
hello.
It was 200 mil
Hey,
to
how you doing,
from
Walrus?
scratch to 1.0. Estimated
Doing good.
100 million to run the game every year.
Okay, Flowcast said it was 200 million and 100 million. Yeah, so it costs less to operate the game as opposed to develop the game's initial version. All right, so chat, we have Lay 7 here. You guys most likely are very aware of who he is, but Lay, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Just a whale and supporter of the Genshin community, man. Just heard about the in-game content talk, and I just really wanted to say something real quick. So I appreciate you.
Yeah, no
letting me
problem,
come
no
on for a
problem.
few minutes. I just really wanted to quickly say I've been playing gachas for over 10 years now, and most gachas don't have the blessing to ever have true end-game content. Only very few do. Most of the time, it's just your same repetitiveness, kind of how Genshin is right now. But the last game I came from, a game called Azure Lane, I played it for 4 years, and it took them 3 years to implement in-game. And when they did it, it was very similar to how Genshin was. They did a lot of online surveys on Twitter and on Facebook and other sources, even their private website. And it was just a lot of community feedback over the years, like what would they like to see? So I think that even Genshin just doing the surveys is a very positive and bright future for us because a lot of people think that the surveys don't matter and they don't look at them. But I promise you that the surveys do really matter. And Flowcat said on the podcast the other day that if you really want change, put something in the put something in your survey that actually matters. A lot of people don't put stuff that actually matters. They'll just put give me more primos. No, that's not going to help anything. So don't give up yet, guys. It takes a long time, especially for a game the size of Genshin with as many players that are in it. You got to understand they're trying to satisfy many different crowds. So I don't think it's something to worry about just yet. Maybe if we get to the end of Sumeru and we're heading into Fontaine and there still isn't a sign, then maybe we can start worrying. But until then, I think we need to chill out about the in-game content.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And while I have you here, Lay Seven, do you think, because now it's like I have somebody to ask questions to directly. Now my question to you is, do you think in this day and age, I know I kind of sound like a boomer if I do say this, but hell, I'm going all the way now. Do you think in this day and age of instant gratification that it has made people want things much faster, right? I think there's a much less of an emphasis on quality as opposed to quantity. People want things fast regardless of whether it's going to be of good quality, as long as it comes fast and get that quick dopamine hit.
Yeah, this is exactly how Azure Lane was. People were complaining, saying, well, after you get done with the world maps, which is basically the equivalent of a spiral abyss in Azure Lane, after you get done with the world maps, like there was not much to do other than just level up characters. And they were just like begging Manju to keep adding more and more and more so it wouldn't just be a mindless grind. But yeah, I completely agree. The world we live in, people expect stuff way too quick. It's very hard to be a game developer, especially in today's age. And a lot of people don't understand that because they've never had to be in those kind of shoes before. It is not easy to do the things that people are asking. It doesn't matter how much money they've made. It's still not easy because they can easily come out with something and it completely flop and everybody will still be pissed.
And
So I think Mahoya wants this to be right when they do drop it.
and this is another thing that I want to make bring up, and I might make a video about it, because here's my question to people, right? How much money do you think like a really good idea is worth? They may have a lot of money. Let's for a thought experiment, chat, along with Mr. Lay 7 here. Let's just imagine all 1 billion or whatever revenue they made last year. Let's imagine all of that goes into Genshin Impact, and let's just, for the sake of this thought experiment, let's just say it all goes into developing the perfect end game content for the player base. Like, how much is the best idea even worth in like monetary wise? Because you can buy as many workers, right? You can buy the most talented coder, graphic designer. You can make it look absolutely stunning, out of this world, but without that good idea to lead the way, everything just falls flat. So then the question really is, how much is that idea worth, and who are you going to go to come up with that idea? Because that's the juice here, right? Without that, everything else just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many billions of dollars you have. Without the idea to lead the way, it's never gonna come to shape. It's gonna look really good, but it can feel very empty.
Yeah, there was someone, I didn't catch their name, but while you were talking, they said that we need Dendro for in game to even be relevant because we need all the elements first. And like
Mhm.
they make a damn good point. Like, can you imagine they add endgame and we don't even have all the elements? Like they got to make sure Dendro comes out and it's not broken. And by broken, I don't mean overpowered. I mean like actually functions, right? Like every reaction with Dendro actually functions properly.
Sussy the
Make sure there's
Flowcat
no
just
bugs.
applied
Make
wet
sure there's no
status.
game-breaking
Damn,
glitches.
that's hot.
Like they got
To
to make
miHoYo,
Dendro's
the
right around the
generic
corner. They got to
decent
make sure
endgame is
when
worth
Dendro comes
nothing.
out, it's
They need
okay
something
before they can even
spectacular
worry
or they
about
won't
anything
want to
else.
do
Because if
it.
Dendro comes
It's all
out
or nothing.
and there's a lot of
Events are
issues,
testing.
well, that's not good for the game either because it's a new element. You're going to have players coming back. You're going to have players joining because they hear about a new element. And the Dendro Archon is going to be one of the first Dendro characters we ever get. And the Dendro Archon, me and Final Flame were talking about this the other day. The Dendro Archon is really going to set the standard to what Dendro is supposed to be at its core. So we just need to be patient, guys. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I mentioned this I believe in the video as well. It's just the game itself hasn't even finished developing yet. And now this is it gets me a little worried because that's why I also said in that same video that don't expect Endgame to come anytime soon. And when I said anytime soon, I didn't specifically say like how long is anytime soon, right? It could be like, oh, 6 months, 1 year. That's not anytime soon. But honestly, in my head, when I was thinking about it, I'm looking at 2 to 3 years. I don't know if that's what you have in mind as well, because the reason I say that is that once Dendro is finalized, comes out, and after like the entirety of Sumeru is over, we're in Fontaine, and as Fontaine near its wait, is it Fontaine or Natland?
It's Fontaine next
Fontaine,
after
yeah.
Sumeru.
So what towards the end of Fontaine, we're like, or middle to the end of Fontaine, that's essentially halfway, right? Because after Fontaine, we got Natlan, and then we got... I'm not counting Mondstadt, because Mondstadt came out with the game. I'm counting all the developmental regions, starting with Inazuma, Sumeru, and then Fontaine. Midway through Fontaine, and then we got Natlan, and we got Shizunaya. So midway through Fontaine is roughly where I think it's the halfway point, and it's a great time to implement something to kind of get us through that midway grind and towards the last stretch, which is Natlan and Shizunaya. And I think with Dendro at that point having enough characters, because we see how miHoYo designs all these characters, right? They have niches for every single weapon type, and like even in the same weapon type, they don't want to design a character that's the same. So a Dendro Catalyst could be very different from a Dendro Sword user, from a Dendro Polearm user, and Lord knows if they come out with a new weapon type, that's going to throw a whole wrench in all this as well, right? So they want to make sure every single weapon type at least is already filled out with some sort of variance in each weapon type, preferably before they even consider really start building it vertically and seeing like, okay, now we know how all these things interact. How are we going to do this? Even though I do think they're already thinking about it right this very moment. I think one thing we have to admit to HoYoverse is they're not stupid. They're very smart. It's just they're not very good at communicating. They don't say anything, but they're always working on something. And it's evident with the Zhongli buffs and all that stuff. Like, they don't really like to say anything, but but they're very aware of what we're doing and what we want. Just look at the thing they used to do where they log all of our, like, they know how many like fowls have been killed and like cooked or something like that. They know everything. They're tracking everything, right? So it would be naive of us to think that miHoYo has no idea what they're doing.
Sussy Sicily
Yeah,
who just
and
applied wet status.
again,
Damn, that's hot.
with
Unpopular
Dendro and
opinion.
having
New
enough
character
characters in
release can
Dendro,
change to every other patch.
a lot of games
Current
that
character
wait a
release
long
rate seem
time for
quantity focused,
in-game,
less
they end
quality
up having
focused.
100 plus. Hell, in Azur Lane's case, 300 plus characters in it before there was ever any endgame. So, but I'll tell you what, after 3 years of waiting for Azur Lane endgame, the devs did a damn good job and everybody seemed really happy. Like, there was so much more positive than there was negative when it finally came out. So just be happy for what we got, guys. And just like Walrus is saying, we got to have everything for in game before they can add in game. And Hell, even Mondstadt's not even done. If you look at lore, Mondstadt's not even done yet. And that's the first region. Every time they take time away from developing regions and characters to make in-game, like you got to understand, like even though they have a lot of employees, you can only shift so much weight to each thing, right? You can't just have all your apples into making in-game and not be worrying about the next character coming out in the next 3 weeks, or hell, when Dendro comes out in the Dendro Archon, right? Because I'm gonna say when the Dendro Archon comes out, they're really, really hoping that it is a huge success, right? They're really praying that when their next Archon comes out, not only is it a new element, it can completely change how we play the game. So they gotta really hone in and focus on that. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep you too much longer, Walrus. Thank you for letting me do this.
No problem. No problem. Thank you for coming
It was a
on.
good talk. And get back to your stream, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we're just gonna be continued like moving on to different topics. Thank you for coming
Yes,
on.
sir. Yeah, see ya.
There we go. All right. So I'm happy to have people like Lay7 and all you guys in part of the community, because it's evident with the poll that I did on from my community tab that you guys have faith, and I can see that, right? Most of you guys do, and and as opposed to 2.6, you guys seem to really enjoy it, the story quests and all that stuff. As you guys can see, personally myself, I don't do content anymore for the primo gems, and to be honest, I never have. If I'm not really feeling it, I'm not gonna go out of my way to grind Genshin. You guys can see my battle pass not grind, and that's not. And people say like, oh, that's just because you don't enjoy it. You don't like. No, it's not because I don't enjoy it. I'm very nitpicky with the type of content I want to consume. Why would you spend the few hours you have in a day to play games to grind something that you don't enjoy, right? So I don't really play things anymore for the primo gems, for the rewards. I don't use my crowns anyways. I don't use my crowns. So, you know, what's the point of me going out of my way to spend hours? And I'm gonna be honest, like the prerequisite quest thing kind of puts a weird taste in my mouth. I don't like doing a lot of these prerequisite quests. Some of them are like a couple minutes. Some of them can take like 15-20 minutes, right? And I'm not a big fan of the puzzles. Whenever I'm forced to do a puzzle, I get very groggy because I don't look at guides, so I'm just sitting there sometimes for an hour trying to figure some weird puzzle out with like trying all the weird combinations. And I don't know if, like, I can say for a fact, HoYoverse is not designing these puzzles for people to go look up guides for them, right? Can we all agree on that? So I'm playing the game the way it's designed to be played, but I'm suffering sometimes because of that, as a result, because it's too horizontal. There's too many aspects of the game that's entangled with each other, to which I don't enjoy. Lay7 says heading to bed. Good night, everyone. Lay7, have a good night. Rest well, my friend. I'll see you next time. So, Flowcat was saying earlier, Flowcat, thank you for the 10. Sorry, couldn't respond to it immediately. It says, to MiHoYo, the generic, decent endgame is worth nothing. They need something spectacular, or they won't want to do it. It's all or nothing. Events are testing. And that's a really good point, because do you guys remember the patch 2.6 part where they showed sparring?
Just applied wet status.
Not sparring.
Damn.
Counter?
That's hot. Heading to be good night, everyone.
The counter mechanic? It's like I remember Sanzu on stream was like was memeing it, saying yeah, that's totally not a system that we're testing for future, you know, content release. Like, no, absolutely not. And I think this is the good thing that about MiHoYo, is that they're willing to to take these things and share it with us before like way before they release it as permanent content in the form of events. Remember the Golden Archipelago where they tested the boat system, right? They tested the boat system, and that was for Inazuma because Inazuma has had a lot of water traveling. So could this counter parry system be implemented somehow in the Denjo region? Maybe. Who knows? I sure as hell don't know, right? So I think, and I know saying this to you guys is not like me lecturing or saying things. I'm just saying, man. These people who make fun of me, and you guys probably can tell, it does get on my nerves a little bit because they're so impatient and
Sassy
they're
Sandy
so
River just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Perfectionists never get anything done on time.
That's true. That's actually a good quote. I should use that. I need to use that. I might make a video and just use that quote. That's my quote now. That's my quote now. But it does get on my nerves a little bit. These people coming in being like, yo, like, you don't know what you're saying. They made billions, right? You're just a white knight. How can you defend MiHoYo when they're so bad? You know, they're just milking money from us. They're just lazy and stuff. Like, well, I guess in a way I can see it from their perspective as well, but I honestly just don't think that's true. If you have so little faith, like if you have so little faith in MiHoYo, I don't think anything that I say will convince people otherwise, right? I honestly don't. But I'm saying it to you guys because I need to get this off my chest. I need to say it to somebody, right? I need to I guess in a way I make a lot of the videos that I do is to get things off my chest, to speak my mind on the matter. And I think Gadottinho says something, and I want to respond to it. It says they will wait so much trying to make endgame that the game will be almost dying. And this is the thing, right? Flowcat mentioned earlier how Lost Ark was literally on the brink of dying. It was almost dead. Like, it was literally on life support when they released the Legion Commander raids. And now they're the most popular MMO in Korea. And let me tell you, Korea has a huge MMO scene. It's huge. Right? So my question is, do you think Genshin will ever teeter on the brink of existence? Do you think this game will ever get to that point? Because I honestly don't think so. I think Genshin will be a household name for a very long time. You guys think Tower of Fantasy is gonna do anything to it? You guys think like Seven Deadly Sin is gonna do anything to it? No. Nuh-uh. I can say Genshin's income this year might not be as strong as last year, or it might remain somewhere close. It might have like a 20-30% drop, but that's still insane when it comes to how much money they're making. And if you're saying that's a dead game, well, maybe in comparison to their glory days, it's a dead game, but sure as hell not financially, right? They're making probably like 500, 600, 700 times the investment amount that they're putting. Like, for example, if they put 100 million into the game every year, I'm sure they're gonna get back somewhere around like 800, 900 million, somewhere around there. That's just what this game is, man. Like, people say like, oh, the game's gonna die, the game's gonna be dead, flopping around on the ground, and like it's on its last leg. It's never gonna happen. As long as HoYoverse doesn't want this game to die, this game won't die. I'll tell you right now, this game can do what it's doing right now for the next 20 years and it won't die. It'll get very unpopular. People will start to leave as newer games come out. For the next 20 years, they can do the exact same thing, rehash the same freaking events, and this game will still have people. They'll still be turning a profit. Guarantee you that. All right? So I think people need to understand just how strong of a connection. Like, I know people, like, a good example is World of Warcraft. A good example is World of Warcraft. Look at how dedicated these players are to that game. It doesn't matter whether a release is good or bad. Objectively, it doesn't matter. As long as there's still something being released in this game. In the case of Genshin, it'll be new characters, because characters are the content of the game. You can't really do the new content without the characters. And I can guarantee you, as long as Genshin uses the same formula they have right now, they have no obligations to make endgame, to make new content, to make whatever. As long as they just keep rehashing what they're doing right now, the game will never die. But out of their good conscience, out of the desire to continue growing and to reach newer highs, to build something, right? They're going to keep growing the game. They're going to keep building on top of what they already have, and hopefully in the future these systems all mature and the teapot feels a lot more interactive, the world feels a lot more populated, newer features, quality of life, end game, whatever you want to call it. Then the game can truly mature into something more than just like a lazy cash grab. And I don't think it's a lazy cash grab, as many people like to say so. Like, oh, they're just lazy. They just want to fucking milk whales for their money. And I told you guys, whales aren't stupid either. You guys think these people making like 6-figure incomes are just dumb? How they make 6 figures if they're stupid, right? Whales aren't stupid either. And I'm sure there's people who would rather spend their money elsewhere if they don't find this enjoyable anymore. It's the truth. All right. I think I covered everything. AMV Bro says Genshin is just so popular to ever die because it has players from different ages. As a player who has friends who also play it, most people don't care about endgame. I said that too, right? People who want endgame are literally less than 10 to 15% of the player base are actively asking for endgame. And 10 to 15% of those people are actively putting in good stuff into the surveys that like actually helps. So truly, I think around 1 to 5% of the player base is actively contributing to building a good endgame by giving good inputs in the surveys, being patient, and just respectful in general. And the other, I think a good 30 to 40% of the player base are like younger children who don't know what the hell they're doing. They're not on Reddit, they're not online, they're like in grade school or something like that. Honestly, like they're in like grade 5 or grade 6 or something. A good 30 to 40% are more casual players who don't care about, like, who haven't even beat Abyss floor 7 yet, and they don't care about Abyss. I know that because out of the people that I know in real life that plays Genshin, which is my girlfriend, she never cleared Abyss floor 6. Let me tell you, she had Hu Tao, she had Ganyu, she had Zhongli, she had Venti, she had like 2 more. She had Jean, I believe. She had Zhao. Who else did she have? She had Tartaglia. And of course she had Xiangling Fischl and all the other stuff. She couldn't beat floor 6. And this is not me ripping on my girlfriend or anything. I'm not trying to like make fun of her. It's just she didn't care. She didn't care about it. And why should she? As long as she was killing Timmy's birds, as long as she was farming every single boar there was in the overworld, she could care less about the frickin'... To her, the Abyss stressed her out. It really stressed her out. She didn't enjoy it. She didn't enjoy farming for artifacts. She didn't enjoy like min-maxing like stats that she had to like run calculations for. Like the 1-to-2 ratio made her head spin. When I think 30 to 40% of the player base are those type of players. That's literally 30 to 40% of the player base are like that. They play this game not for the combat, not for the biz, not for the grind. They play this for other reasons. They love the world. They love the music, right? They just want to explore it. They just like one character, and it's a 4-star character. They love that character. They play with that character. That's all they do. They farm plants in their teapot, and then they design their teapot, right? And that's all they do. And I think the casual player can understand why the tryhards want to be tryhard, but the tryhards have a really hard time understanding why casual players want to be casual. That's like what I've realized, is the tryhards just don't get it. They're just like, why would you guys waste your time doing this stuff? Why? They don't get it. They actually struggle to understand why people would come onto this game to farm boars and to like hit trees and then like go into their teapots to build stuff, and that's all they do. And these people at the same time want to pull for Zhao, want to pull for, you know, like Yaimiko, want to pull for all these characters, but then they don't want to fight with them. They just want to admire them. The tryhards don't get it. It absolutely fucks with their mind when you talk to them about this stuff. But the casuals get it. The casuals always understands why the tryhards wants to do abyss, want to, you know, min-max everything, want to like scrutinize over the tiniest of numbers. I don't know. I don't know why it's this way. It's truly a phenomenon I didn't really notice until I became a content creator and got exposed to all this like all this information. Because in my videos, you'll see people arguing, and the casuals are usually very accommodating. They are very understanding, but then the tryhards are very hostile, and oftentimes the aggressors, whether it's passive aggressive or like active aggressive. I don't know. I guess casuals are just people who don't enjoy combat to begin with. You know, you get what I'm saying? If they don't enjoy killing things, like killing like killer trolls in the game, like look at my Zhongli, like they don't enjoy that. They don't enjoy conflict in real life as well. They don't enjoy confrontation. Whereas the tryhards, they can be confrontational, or they can be very chill and laid back. It depends on the situation, right? Lightning MC cases. Sometimes I feel like an idiot when I try to explain meta to some randos I meet in co-op, and they couldn't care less. Like, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like, we can have the best of intentions, but if these people, they also don't want to understand this aspect of the game, it's best not to I guess, A, waste our time, and B, to force it on them, because nobody enjoys it at the end of the day. Scully Gaming says, I'm more of a tryhard, not gonna lie. And there's no problem with that. I think that's why Genshin works. Like, that's how it became so popular, is they let you be tryhard, and at the same time they let you be casual. It doesn't punish you. Genshin, the one thing Genshin does very good is it doesn't punish you for wanting to do anything. There are restrictions that are put in place. I wouldn't call that punishing. It's just, those are the limitations. Those are the boundaries put into the game. You have ways to expand those boundaries, but at the same time, they don't let you do it limitlessly. There's like, if Hoyoverse wanted to make more money, they could have easily put like no resin cap on resin refreshes. They could have. You think they like, okay, maybe the Chinese government is gonna have an issue with that due to playtime, but they could have done that, right? And X Mr. Graves says PvP kills casual playstyle. Yeah, they could have implemented PvP into this game as well. They could have. They really could have. right? They could have given whales endless resin grind. They could have. But they chose actively to not do any of those things. Why? Because they care about the player experience. They care about like this overall environment that we all share, which is like the game, the gameplay and the contents of the game, and how they want you to. It's like a how many Chinese speakers are in the chat right now? What's that thing in Chinese? It's that dish. It's not that dish. It's like there used to be this emperor. Like not this emperor. There used to be emperors in China who like this particular dish, not like this particular course meal is only served to the emperor. It's called like 百宴全席 or something like that. It's like 100 dishes. What's that called? Jason Leon, like 百宴全席, like it's like this 100 course meal. Yeah, and it's like 100 dishes for the emperor. And right now, essentially, we are treated like the emperors, right? The player base is treated like the emperors. You get so many of this like things you can try in this game. You might not like all of them. Hey, I'm not saying you're gonna like all of them. Think about 100 dishes laying all across the table. You're gonna like every single one of them? I don't think so. But you're the emperor, man. You can choose what you want to eat. You don't have to finish the whole table of food. You can maybe take 2 bites of this and be like, I'm done. The other 97, I don't even want to try it. Not appetize anymore. That's up to you. You're the player. You can easily say, hey, chef, I don't want to eat any of this. I'm gonna go 满汉全席. That's the one. 满汉全席. Yeah. 满汉全席. It's like 100 dishes. And we are, in this case, the emperors. We're not forced to eat it. We're not like Mihoyo's not tying us down and forcing us to eat all this stuff. You can eat it, you cannot eat it. Right? You can eat one of the dish out of the 100, you can eat 5, you can eat all 100. I think that's fair. You can eat something else. You don't have to eat it. You don't have to eat this at all. Right? In this case, the analogy is saying you can play other games. Maybe you can eat this and the other thing at the same time. The choice is all up to you. Right? DMC Giva says this game needs endgame content, period, and we're not saying it doesn't. DMC. No one here is saying the game doesn't need endgame content. We're saying the game is not ready for it. And we're saying HoYoverse is not ready for it. I think the argument has long shifted from, do we need endgame content? Yes, it needs endgame content, but it's not ready. And I don't want a rushed endgame. And you might think you want endgame in 2.7, be like, I need endgame 2.7 right now or I'm gonna die. Right? Or I'm gonna quit. Or this game's dead. You might think that way, but trust me, if it did come and it's rushed, this game's gonna die much faster than it would have had it just stayed on its course. You might not believe me, you might think it's bullshit, but I'm telling you, it's much better to be late but have quality than to be rushed and be shitty. That's honestly what I think. Is it sucky and boring that the game right now it feels like a shell, right? It doesn't feel very populated. Of course, it does feel that way in many instances. Do I wish I could grind Genshin like I do with a game like Lost Ark? Of course I do. Of course I do. You think I don't want to do that? You think I make videos about Genshin, talking about it every single day, and sit here, I can talk about Genshin for 2 hours non-stop, not shutting up? You think I hate the game? Why don't you try to get me to go talk about like the history of suitcases or something? Like I don't know, I just saw a suitcase, right? Why don't you just try to get me here to talk about how the history of fast food? You think I can sit here and talk to you guys for 2 hours like that? No, because I'm not interested. I haven't experienced. I don't have any experience in that field. I enjoy Genshin. I want more endgame content. Of course, I wish I can play Genshin 8 hours a day.
Just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. So right now we're counting calories, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy, tears of joy.
So I I honestly think that the people themselves who are asking for endgame is also because they love this game so much, and they're coming, like their heart is coming from a good place. It's just that they're being too impatient, and starting to get hostile out of frustration because there's no response from Mahoyo, so they take it out on other people. This is like high school all over again. I swear to God, this is high school all over again. People who, I don't want to antagonize these people, but I'm just going to say the analogy anyways. The kids who weren't getting enough attention and love, right, back at home, they come to school and they take out their frustrations on other students, on people who, and oftentimes on the weaker ones who they think are easiest to harass, to bully. That's what bullying oftentimes is. So I think what's going on with Genshin is these people who, of course, they love the game, but at the same time, Mahoyo is not giving them anything. No love, no attention, nothing. No communication, and they're frustrated, right? So they go onto the forums, they go onto YouTube, and they see these other people who seem like they're having a good time, like who seem like, you know, and it's like, oh, that's so unfair. I also love this game. How come these people get to enjoy the game whereas I'm here very miserable? Like, that's not fair. And oftentimes they don't mean to be assholes. It's just they're just venting their frustrations. And if people do that in real life, face to face with other people, what's to stop people from being assholes online to vent their frustrations? That's what's going on in this community. They're just taking it out on people on the internet because there's no repercussions. And like I said, in the real world where there are repercussions, they still do it. So what's to stop them from doing it online? So that, it's just what it is. It's a very small percent of the community, but they're very loud. So you see them everywhere because they're screaming. Kwambe is asking, EroticWalruss, will you consider a monthly 100 floor labyrinth style event and endgame is content? I would, yeah. If they scaled the floors up in difficulty, and being able to clear 100 floors would give you some sort of substantial reward. I don't want to sit here, to be honest with you, I don't want to sit here, grind some sort of arbitrary endgame just for like a shiny medal that doesn't do anything, because the game doesn't let me interact with other players anyways. Gado Teenho is asking, do you think Dendro will really come and at 2.8? Did Mahoyo ever say that? I think Dendro is coming in 2.8. I think. Alright, don't quote me on that. I've been wrong before. But I think there's a decent chance Dendro will come in 2.8. So that's going to be sometime in June, right? End of June-ish? Right? Because 2.6 is coming in patch in April, and midway through April is going to be patch 2.7. Yeah, so around June, that's when Dendro's coming, like the start of June-ish. That's when I think. Because if it's not June, 2.9? $2.8 or 2.9? I don't know. I think it's going to be June. That's when the start of summer holiday starts as well, right? It's either 2.8 or 2.9. If it's 2.9, that's going to be like midway through summer. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. Somewhere around there. It's either 2.8 or the patch after that. They want to sync up Sumeru with the summer holiday, right? So people who are outside of school can actually play the game. So I don't remember when do people go on summer holiday? Is it end of June? Wait, chat. Honestly, when is summer holiday for school? I think my age is showing a little bit too much. Was it end of June or end of May? Whenever summer holiday starts, that's when Sumeru is coming. It doesn't matter, like, forget what I said, 2.8, 2.9, it doesn't matter. It's literally whenever summer holiday starts for people, that's when I think Sumeru is coming. So if it's end of May, then I think patch 2.8. If it's end of June, probably patch 2.9, which is 3.0. Genshin's second anniversary drama is coming near. Bro, I think they learned their lesson, but I don't think they're going to be very generous. I think they're going to be relatively generous. Teaser for Ayato is out? Yo, let's check it out. Really now? Teaser for Ayato is out. Damn, thank goodness we stayed, thank goodness we stayed a little bit, isn't it? Where is it? I see his kit. Oh. Alright, chat. Teaser for Ayato. Live, right now. With me. You, me, together. Alright. Okay. This is a teaser. Let's check it out. Okay. Just under 2 minutes. Let's see what Ayato has in store for us. Oh, let's just finish the dono here.
NYG just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. I just realized Genshin is not new player friendly today when I watched someone pull Raiden and they don't even have the land of Geo unlocked.
Scoop, you see, that's where you have it backwards. Yes, you can say it's not new player friendly, but imagine you get Raiden Shogun as a new player, and then you're told, yeah, you need to unlock this region, and then you need to unlock the next region, and then you can, fully build her. Does that not give you motivation to play every single day, 8 hours a day, and play every second you have to unlock the full potential for that character? Think about it like this. It doesn't have to be friendly to the new player. It just has to incentivize the new player to literally grind no life on this game every day, all day, until they can unlock the character. Like, that's what... Because that's just motivation. It's just... It gives you a goal. I think people are very goal-oriented, right? And you can be like, oh, you just got super lucky. You literally almost essentially won the lottery on this character. Now, all you got to do is play through the game like you would have done anyways, and you have a purpose now. There's a reason. It's like there's a carrot in front of you now. So, and you can know exactly where you need to go. It's like a direct path. It's clear for you. I don't know, right? Honestly, that would motivate the crap out of me. First, to know I won the lottery, and second, to know, oh, I just need to get there. All right, let's go then. That's the tactic, right? Lock everything behind the newest content and have people like force them to play through everything to get here. All right, let's watch this.
The Kamisato clan is just one of countless families in Inazuma. Hence, there is nothing exceptional about my work. I do what must be done to ensure peace and stability for my family. At home, I am the clan head, or brother. In public, I am commissioner. But ultimately, I am just a normal person. When work is busy, I don't return home for days at a time. Once the present problems are resolved, there are still future dangers to prevent. This may sound vainglorious, but I do what I do so that everyone has a home to go back to. Most inconvenient. Time to find shelter.
That's daddy material. That's daddy material right there.
Huh? Hello, my lord.
What a surprise to run into you here, Ayato.
1 second, I'll go start some tea. Toromaru, come on, boy, down you go. Hey, come on. You need to let me stand up.
This is so heartwarming, isn't
My
it?
goodness, you're in high spirits. Thought you'd have a party without me.
No, actually, we came here to make some plans for your birthday.
My lady.
So that's it. The chance to work and to live life. For the sake of these, people will draw their blade.
Show us action. No action. No action. Okay, so did you guys hear that in the music? Like, there's a tint of what is that in the music? Like, listen to the music. It's like if it made me feel a little sad. I don't know why. Like,
1 second, I'll go start some tea. Toromaru, come on, boy, down you go. Hey, come on. You need to let me stand up.
My goodness, you're in high spirits. Thought you'd have a party without me.
No, actually, we came here to make some plans for your birthday.
My lady.
So that's it. The chance to work and to live life.
it's very wholesome. You're right. It gives me a hint of sadness. Like it makes me feel like he's alone. It's a piano, yeah. But it's never that easy for Hoyoverse, you know? It's never that easy because they make an active choice. And you can see, like, even when he walked outside, he's in the rain. He's by himself. Look at that. There's no people in the city. When Ayaka was doing her teaser, she was filled by people. People adored her. And then you see Ayato, he's alone. He's like by himself. It's raining. It's gloomy. He seems burdened. Exactly, Flowcat. He seems burdened. This character, hey, I'm calling it right now. You guys can't say I look at leaks, because where am I going to go to find this stuff, right? I honestly feel like there's something behind, like, I said it from the beginning. The second I saw him, there's something about this character that's more than meets the eye. There's something about him, right? I don't know if they're going to reveal it in the story. He feels alone, yeah, and it says it in the music. It's so, like, it was wholesome and heartwarming to see Ayaka and you know, Toma there, but the music just makes it feel like they're not. I think, yeah, and I remember in the story it said or something, he's been the head of the Ayato Kamisato clan since he was like, what, 12? Can you imagine?
Sussy the Flowcat just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. He seems burdened.
Right? Can you guys imagine shouldering the burden of being the head of an entire, like, noble clan at the whooping age of 12? I was still sniffing glue. Dude, it shows, like, the maturity of this character that comes from the years of responsibility that's being essentially forced upon him. He is Batman 2.0.
Sussy Scoop NYG just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Ye Miko says he is a sly fox in her voiceover.
Right? So Yamiko says he's a sly fox in her voiceover. I mean, way to word it, Yamiko. I wonder who's the real sly fox. But it makes sense, right? He needs to be this dude who holds two faces. He can be this loving, caring older brother to Ayaka, but on the outside he needs to have this cold and essentially cut off ruthlessness to him to deal with the problems in this nation. Because think about it, they literally have a ruler who strips you of your freedom, who seals off the borders of her nation. Can you imagine, right, working under that type of almost a dictatorship, right, with Raiden Shogun, and being the head of a noble family at the age of 12? I think this might be one of the more interesting characters that I am looking forward to finding out more about, because the complexity that it seems like Ayato has is so far, in my opinion, unrivaled. Like, you can say Eula has a pretty difficult time as well, but
Sussy Hongler just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Boba equals best stress reliever. Grin.
yeah, but I think Ayato has everything topped. Ayato has everything topped when it comes to the responsibilities that he's had to bear. Top notch. I like it. I really do. I like this frame. I like this. I think this encapsulates so much of what this character is. And Huanlei says, Boba is the best stress reliever. I want to know his secrets, because how does he drink that much without showing it on his body? I can take a sip of water and tomorrow I'll be looking like a freaking hippopotamus who just finished sunbathing.
NYG just applied wet status. Damn, that's hot. Will his banner top Raiden?
I don't think his banner will top Raiden, mainly because Raiden is too efficient at being both a damage dealer as C0 as well as a team facilitator, utility character. I think Ayato is going to be a great character that works with a couple different popular ones, but he's not going to be able to do everything by himself, and he doesn't provide enough for the team to justify people going out of their way for this character. And remember, a lot of Raiden sales also did come from her Constellation 1 and Constellation 2 because people knew it was so efficient, but I don't think Ayato is going to have those constellations either. Because Hoyoverse is always very careful with Hydro characters. They don't want to overdo them. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to what this character has to show in his story. Kamisato Ayaka was already one of my more liked characters, and now with her brother, being so mysterious and now finally showing himself being also a Hydro character, just want to know more. All right, chat, thank you guys for hosting this with me. So yeah, that's gonna be that. That's Ayato's teaser. Damn, I can't wait. All right, so people, that's gonna be that. All right, thank you guys for joining me on the live stream. We started a little late, so we went a little late as well. Trunks says your VPN link isn't working. I know. I already emailed them saying the link isn't active yet, so waiting for their response. Today was the day that they gave me to start with the promotion, so I followed their rules, but they have to activate the link. So hopefully in a couple of days this link will work, but don't worry, next stream I'll be back. Hopefully by Saturday's stream it should be working 100%. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all the donations, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. Okay? Until then, urge you all to stay safe. Peace. Bye bye.